joining us on video, and you can see it at supertalk.fm/watch. Oh, it's a three-way split now. We're getting super fancy over there, Rhino. That's not bad.
Jeez.
You can see Gerard, you can see me, and you can see right there in the middle, Lynn Spruill, the mayor of Starkville. How are you today, Mayor?
I am very well, thank you.
Fantastic. Now, how are things going in Starkville? Did you guys, I think you were a little bit north of the bad weather that came through early this morning, weren't you?
Well, we had heavy rains and winds, but we hadn't had anything that I know of. I don't know of any downed trees or any loss of electricity, so far so good.
Fantastic. That's the kind of news we like to hear. And I've got something I want to start off with because I think this is really cool, and you guys deserve some credit for doing this. I have the tweet in front of me that the city of Starkville put out earlier this week. Her eyebrow went up. She's wondering which tweet. I can tell already. But the tweet, and I'm just going to read it here, from the city of Starkville. The city has dedicated a city phone line to taking calls from people needing assistance over the coming days and weeks, operating Monday through Friday from 9 till 4. Not everybody's doing that, and I just want to tell you right up front, good job. But what led to the decision to put that line in?
Well, thank you very much for that. I wish I could take credit, but I had some of our local nonprofits and pastors come to me and ask what they could do. And so I had actually been talking to our emergency coordinator earlier about them setting up, because they're obviously geared to do a 24/7 kind of phone line. And she was kind of busy doing other things, as you can imagine. And so I talked to our IT people, and they dedicated a city line for this. And so what we have done is we've forwarded it to one of our city employees who's been kind enough to monitor it during those hours. And then each one of the churches that we have who've been part of the process have volunteered to take a particular day of the week. And those requests that have come in, they have volunteered to take on those particular requests.
That is fantastic. It's just a really great setup, and I haven't really heard of this specific type of thing being done before. So you're kind of blazing a trail up there again, Mayor. That's not bad.
We like doing that sort of thing. We like blazing trails and doing, particularly when it's good things for the community. And so,
very cool.
I was very grateful for the pastors who have thought of being willing to do this and have their congregation help doing this.
Well, and that really is fantastic. And in response to that, let me ask you the question, how are things regarding the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak for the city of Starkville? What are you looking at up there right now as far as the situation goes?
Well, as you can imagine, Starkville, like many other cities in Mississippi, have a great dependence on sales tax. Our coastal cities that are tourist-driven, our fellow university towns, Oxford and Hattiesburg, we all rely on a good bit on sales tax. And so we are looking at some serious and severe cuts, to the extent that at the board meeting last night, at the board meeting this Tuesday, my board of aldermen agreed with the projection of at a minimum loss of $1.3 million in this budget year. To that extent, we have now gone into the process of cutting all of our equipment purchases. We've done a hiring freeze. We've cut a number of our services. Our parks are not going to open this summer. We've closed our pool for the summer. So we've had some very drastic cuts, and the most drastic of all, and the most saddest one of all, is that we've now furloughed 47 of our employees, 35 from our general fund and 12 from our enterprise funds. And that is at least through the current time of we didn't put a end date on it, but we're looking at it from a numbers standpoint through the end of the COVID-19 federal support that comes with that CARES Act that takes it through July the 31st. And so that gives our employees the $235 coming from the state and the city, and then the $600 coming from the federal act to supplement them on a weekly basis. They keep their health care, which is obviously during a crisis of this nature incredibly important, but they are also on furlough, which saddens me greatly, but it is just one of those things that we had to do.
Well, and you don't like taking those steps. When you are given the responsibility, I almost said awarded, because with elections, that's kind of what it feels like sometimes. But when you're given the responsibility to manage anything, a municipality, a county, or the state, it's a huge responsibility. And sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do just for the greater good and to keep things on an even keel, so to speak. And it's not easy to make those decisions, I know. It can't be.
It isn't. It's incredibly sad, and I've been in local government both as a staff person and as an elected leader for a number of years now, and I've never had to experience this. But I am proud to say that our board of aldermen, as well as myself and our department heads, have taken a 20% pay cut as a part of this. If we're going to furlough people, then we need to share in the pain, and we have done that as well. So there have been lots of things across the board that we have done to try to soften this for everyone involved.
Mayor, hey, this is Gerard Gibbard. Hope you're well today. Thanks for coming on. Are you hearing anything from the governor's office about what to expect this coming Monday with respect to the SIPP?
I am not hearing anything. It is my hope that he will do something prior to Monday, because I would guess that we're going to be opening up more slowly than just, blowing the doors open. I would think it would be a staged approach, and he was good in providing the last change on a Friday prior to the Monday when this expires. So the city of Starkville has been tracking with the governor. So what we have done goes with his date and his time. So I am hoping that he will do something on Friday that will give us some idea of what we will need to be doing, if we need to do anything, come Monday or over the weekend. So hopefully we can all be in better shape to prepare if we hear this Friday, and I think he probably will do something prior to the expiration, which is at 0800 on Monday morning.
Right. I think he said yesterday, did he not, in his press conference, 36 to 48 hours or something, as I recall. So I think you're right. We would need to know something before then. And what are you hearing from the business community around the Starkville area with respect to their sense of it's time to get back open, or we need to hold on a little longer?
The business community is obviously ready to be back open. I think they're all very concerned about how much, how soon, and what the measures would be to keep everyone safe. I know that our restaurants are talking about having as much as a 70% to 80% drop in their revenue. Our building supplies are talking about a 30% drop in theirs, much of what you all were talking about earlier before I came on. But everyone's ready to get back, and some are a little more optimistic than others. So I think it sort of depends on where in the scope of things they are. But I think everybody's ready to get back, and I know I certainly am. I look out my window behind me here, and that's downtown, and I hate seeing no cars downtown. I want to see our city bustling again.
Well, Mayor, we're up against a break. Can you hang on through the break? Mainly because your smiling face is classing the whole joint up, and we'd like to have you around for a few minutes longer.
I'll be happy to stay for a few minutes longer. Thank you.
Today, I'm Dave Hughes, and joining us in the video conference, and again, I still maintain what I said before the break, Mayor, classing the joint up, Mayor Lynn Spruill of Starkville. Before the break, you were talking about, and we were discussing getting back to normal and getting things going again. And I know we've heard this on a statewide level and everything else, but I'm sure you've had to reiterate this to people in Starkville as well, especially business owners, that just because restrictions start easing doesn't mean, well, we're just open for business as usual, everything's fine, you just go back to the way you were doing things. It has to happen in stages, and I assume that's going to be the same way in Starkville?
Yes, that's my expectation, is that we will do that. We will follow the governor's guidelines, and I'm guessing that he will do that in a staged approach. We have been very careful over the last month or so in following what he has recommended. My board has been convinced that that's the best way to go, and so we have followed in that regard. Obviously, we're hoping the students will be back. They're not going to be here this summer. We're hoping they will be back for the fall, and that we can have some semblance of normalcy as we go back into what we consider to be our best season, which is football season, and having the kids back in town and ready to go again. But I anticipate that from an economic recovery standpoint, it will take a lot longer than that, and I think people will remain somewhat cautious. I expect to see masks out for a while, much longer than simply as we open back up again, much longer than probably just the summer. So.
Well, and one thing, and I know that Richard and Borky and the rest of the guys on Sports Talk have addressed this from the sports standpoint, the cancellation of the baseball season. Baseball, huge up in Starkville. It has had a major impact, even if nothing else had changed, a major impact on your economic situation. But there's another aspect to that, too, because when you have those students in town, they're eating out, they're going to bars, they're shopping at the stores, they're doing a lot of things that they're not doing if the school is closed down. Do you have any estimate what exactly the economic impact is on the city of Starkville with all those students not being there on a daily basis?
Well, the impact is huge. It's huge just in terms of how you feel about the city and quality of life and what we're doing and the energy that goes with it. But the economic impact is, I'm projecting the $1.3 million for the remainder of the year. I'm guessing it's going to be much greater than that. I was hoping to be a little more optimistic, but we are planning for looking at this on a every 2-week basis. And as soon as we get our sales tax numbers out, that'll come out next month, in May for March, and then in June for April, we will know exactly how hard that hit was. We just are not going to know how long it's going to be.
And that's a big part of the problem, and has been from the word go. It's led to a lot of frustration, a lot of anxiety, and a lot of a building of the financial angst that we're all feeling everywhere. Just the fact that we don't have a finish line. We don't know when this is going to end because there's no way really to know exactly when it's going to end. We just kind of have to play the hand we're dealt, and that makes it even more challenging, even in Starkville, I would assume.
I hate to do this to you, but you were breaking up, so I'm not at all sure what's ahead. I don't know quite how to respond, but I do know that, from Starkville's point of view, we are a community of a university and a young community, and having people get back to work and back into our community is what we're striving for, and we intend to do that and be as safe as possible. But it still is going to be a dramatic change for us over the coming months.
Mayor, thanks for your time, but before we let you go and let you off the hook, I do have one final question I want to ask you. This fall, assuming football goes back into full swing in the country, who do you think is going to win the SEC West?
I heard about football going back into full swing, but I didn't hear the question. So all I will say is that we have the Egg Bowl here in town.
Oh, there we go. Yeah,
that's where we wanted to stay. How about?
Okay, it went right down the path I was hoping to go, because the question I asked you was, who do you think is going to win the SEC West this fall?
Oh, okay. Well, I always think Mississippi State is going to win. So until they prove me wrong, that's where I stand. But I'm going with that Egg Bowl comment I made.
Oh, the Egg Bowl comment was perfect. That was perfect. And if anybody disagrees with you, you can take the Egg Bowl trophy and just drop it on their foot, and that'll be an appropriate response, I think. Mayor, we appreciate your time so much, and keep up the good work. Great job with this line and with everything that you're doing and making the tough decisions that you have to make. It's the kind of leadership that you hope for, but you don't always get. So thank you for that, and we appreciate your time today.
You're very kind. Thank you.